Hello, everyone. So today is the um, day where we have our weekly chat with our guests, and today the topic is hair fall. So I'm gonna type in um, the topic hair fall solutions. Okay, so today we have hi. So I add him. Hello.
Hello, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
How are
It's so
you?
weird to good, alhamdulillah. It's so weird to see you online.
Why?
Yeah,
Why
this is the
weird?
yeah, because
This is
it's
the
the
new
first
normal.
time. Yeah, I know, but it's abnormal for me to see you online. Usually we meet face to face and
But it's also been a long time, right? Since
oh yes.
we met.
Yeah, I think we met like last year kan? Last year.
No
We went
lah, this year.
this
During
year.
dinner. We had dinner with Liz, remember?
Oh
Earlier this year.
yes. Okay, yes. Okay.
Not too long, not too long.
After circuit breaker, right, I'm like off whack. I don't know whether it's don't know which year. I'm still in January though.
Yeah, it's okay. Wait till maybe 2021, then you can start again.
I know, right? Like reset everything. So how
Yeah.
has it been for you?
Alhamdulillah, so far so good. I mean, of course, everybody has their ups and downs with the circuit breaker and with
Yes,
the COVID. But of course, we all, adapt and we learn to get through it as best as we can.
yes. So how did you cope during the circuit breaker? Like was it like bad with whatever your practice and then your business as well?
So for my practice, because we're not allowed to see all sorts of patients, so
Mm-hmm.
so it was really, 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 really quiet. So
Oh wow.
that was yeah. But fortunately, during that time, my online business was doing quite well. I think because
Mm-hmm.
people were open to buy more things online since they can't
Mm-hmm.
go to the shops, and then
Yeah.
also talking about supplements and skincare. So people were
Yes.
still looking for those things during those periods. So Alhamdulillah, it sort of like balances it out, you know. So
Yes.
it was good. Hmm.
Oh, okay, awesome. So I think for me, right, it was actually I was very lucky because last year I spent all my money, not all, but I spent my time I spent my time and money actually building my online system. So then
Oh,
of course, I didn't know that COVID was coming, right? So just nice when
ah,
during the circuit breaker, I still had the online e-commerce system running and I was still earning money. So Alhamdulillah, thank God.
Alhamdulillah. I think is you're somehow I think you were blessed in the sense that you were guided towards doing your online things before COVID happened, right?
Oh yes. So I was blessed. Yes, correct. Okay, so back to the topic today. So I've been
Yes.
seeing your Instagram and Facebook, and you've been showing people how to reinvent their hair, right? So this is something
Mm.
which is interesting because I follow you and I see what you do, and this particular thing that catch my eye because I do galvanic treatments in the shop, right? The professional galvanic treatment and it works really amazingly. So I know that during my course of study, right? So we were taught how to do it on the hair, but we never actually do it. So then when I saw you
Okay.
like something which is mobile and easy, I was very attracted to it. That's why I asked you whether you could speak on hair fall solutions. I think that's something.
Mm. Mm. Okay,
Yeah. So
okay. Yeah, thanks
maybe
for inviting me.
yeah, you're welcome. So maybe before we start everything, you would like to introduce yourself first.
Okay, so I'm Taufik. My name is Taufik. I'm a medical doctor. I have a practice in Somerset. The clinic is called BTEP at Somerset. So my clinic focuses, it's a GP clinic, but focuses on men's health, anti-aging, and also things like weight loss and hair loss. So these are the few key areas that my clinic focuses on. And on top of that, I also have an online business where I sell anti-aging skincare and supplements. And that also includes hair loss products or even supplements for hair. So it's sort of like quite similar. The things I do, it's just that the clinic is more of the medical side, and then the online is more of the non-medical, the supplements and skincare side. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So now we want to talk about hair fall, right? So there are a lot of women, like my own customers, right? They suffer from hair fall even at a very young age of like, let's say when they are in university, due to stress and all that. So probably you can share with us what are the causes of hair fall.
Okay. So actually, our hair, there's a hair growth cycle. So it goes through a cycle. So namely three cycles. First is anagen. Anagen is where the hair actually grows. So this process of growth actually goes through a few years. So that's how some people or some women have very long hair. If they just let it grow, it can grow very long. So that's the growth phase. And then you have the catagen, which is the transition phase. So the transition is where the hair stop growing, but they sort of like prepare for the shedding. So the transition phase is only a short period, a few weeks. The last part is actually the telogen phase. That's where the hair actually goes into shedding. So our hair naturally falls. There's actually natural hair loss or hair fall, and there is a normal hair cycle. So all of us actually go through hair fall. But the question is, maybe I ask you or ask the audience, what do you think is a normal amount of hair fall per day that you would expect? How
I
many
think
how many
from
would you look at?
okay, from what I know, it's about like what 100, 200 strands, something like that.
That's actually around there. So it's about 50 to 100. That is our expected amount of hairs that we lose every day, and that's normal. So if you talk about hair fall, that's actually a normal thing. But the problem comes when you actually lose too much. And I think you can also notice it, when you start to see maybe your shower, the sink, what do you call it? The pipe, right? Start to have a lot of hair. And then you
Yes.
actually, almost every time you comb or almost every time you style your hair, you have more and more hair loss. Or when you wake up, you actually see hair on your pillow more than before. So these are just small telltale signs, telltale signs that they are starting to lose more than you should. So there's many causes lah. So of course you have if you talk about the non-medical or lifestyle causes, the most common one is actually stress. So there's actually even a medical term for it, telogen effluvium, which is where due to stress you actually lose hair. But so we have patients where they are undergoing exams, right? The younger teenagers, and they lose hair. It's very common. And then also those who are working and going through a lot of stress at work, they lose hair. So that's a very common cause of hair fall. On top of that, you also have what do you call that, genetic hair loss, or the medical term is androgenetic. So basically, it's male or female pattern baldness. And normally it happens when you, of course, more likely to happen when you have people in your family who have hair loss. Like you see men who are balding, or you see women who are balding, and they don't discriminate. That means if anyone in your family have this, then you also have a risk of male or female pattern balding. So this is genetic. So these are the two most common causes actually. And then the medical causes will be things like thyroid problems, low iron, and then you have like after pregnancy, postpartum hair loss, hormonal imbalance. Those are the other types of medical problem, and of course a few other skin or dermatological issues that may cause hair loss. And there's also medication that actually cause hair loss, like chemotherapy, which is the most common, and then even certain medication like high blood pressure medicine or even mental health medicine. So those are the few popular ones lah, or causes of hair fall, I would say.
For let's say those genetically bald, right? So they see their their father what is bald. So then when they grow older, then they have bald head, right? So is there any solution that they can do, or it's just if it's in the genes, it's in the genes already?
Okay, so that depends on how bad the balding is. So I've had patients who start balding at the age of in their 20s. So
Oh,
so
wow.
so if yeah, so what happened is they actually have no more follicles in certain areas, especially starting from the front and then the top, and then also some of them actually the both sides join up, and then the whole front part has no more hair follicle. So you only have the side
Ah,
hair. So that's the
that's
severity lah. Ah, that's the severity of the male pattern baldness.
uh,
So I would say in terms of prevention, you only can prevent when you still have hair follicles. But when they have no
ah,
more hair follicles, then you're going to look at medical treatment already, because it's
ah.
not prevention but it's treatment.
Oh, I see. But
Mm.
the treatment is what? They implant hair or what?
Yeah, so if it's already no hair follicles,
Mm-hmm.
then we are looking at things like hair transplant. Okay, that one is what most people heard about. There's something just before hair transplant, which is stem cell, some sort of transplant where you actually take some pieces of hair follicle at the back of your neck here. It's not as
Uh-huh.
drastic as hair transplant, but basically they take pieces here and then you make it into like a stem cell solution, and then we take that solution and implant it into the areas that you want growth. So it's not hair
Oh.
transplantation, it's more like a stem cell, and hoping that this thing will generate the hair follicles. So that's just
So
before. Yeah.
so it might or might not grow back lah, right? For the stem cell.
So far that one also quite good, quite good. It's just that you have to do quite a lot of areas, and then you also have medication. So for those that are not so bad, for men, we have medication that actually help to improve hair growth. Usually that's very.
So for those who still have hair and are worried, like, okay, maybe if I go into my 30s and 40s, I see how my parents are or my aunties and uncles are, they are half bald or, very little hair. So what can they do to prevent hair fall or
Okay.
lesser hair in the future?
Yeah. So if you are the category that you still have hair and you don't want to end up having the male or female pattern balding, then prevention is the right thing for you. And what you need to do is, of course, first lifestyle changes. So the usual advice of not smoking, and smoking actually contributes to hair loss. Manage
Oh,
your stress. Manage your stress, and then see whether if your job or your life is too stressful, try to find ways to relax, or change whatever that you're doing. So manage your stress. Okay, and then also you also need to make sure internally you also take nutrients, ingredients that contribute, that help with hair growth lah. Things like multivitamins that consist of A, vitamin C, vitamin D, and then minerals like selenium, biotin. So these minerals, if you can find multivitamin that contains all of these, this actually helps with hair growth. And then there are some herbs that you can take, like ginseng, which is also good. This is oral, that actually helps with hair growth. So that's internal, right? So externally, you also want to take care of the hair and the scalp. So you imagine it's like growing a plant, right? So you want to take care of the plant itself, but you also must make sure you have the right nutrients. So your supplements is nutrients, and then on top of it is you have to use the right shampoo, conditioner, and if you want growth, then serum is also very effective. and you must make sure you choose the right one lah, because the recommended amount of time that you wash your hair. Maybe I should ask you, what do you think is the recommended frequency of hair washing? Because there's a lot of people with different ideas about hair washing.
From
How
what
often
I've
should you wash your
learned, from
hair?
what every 2 days you need to wash your hair.
Mm, mm. Actually, right, if you use the right shampoo, you need to wash twice, at least at least once or twice a day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and actually before I learned about this, I also thought similar to you, because I thought, oh, cannot wash too often, right? Because wash too often later may cause more hair to fall. But especially with our climate, right?
Climate.
In Singapore, it's very hot, humid.
Yes.
So you get a lot of buildup of sweat, all the dirt, dead skin. So can you imagine if there's a lot of all this accumulation, right? And you
Yes.
wash after a few days, so your hair cannot breathe, and there's a lot of it actually affects the health of the hair and follicle. So the recommended actually even for our climate it should be twice a day. It's just that you need to make sure you use the right shampoo that doesn't damage your hair and your scalp. So shampoo that takes care of your scalp and your hair, especially if you are concerned about hair fall. And in fact, even conditioner, no? So if you use the right conditioner, because not all conditioners you can use so often, but even the conditioner you're supposed to use twice a day. If you use conditioner that is actually supposed to good for your scalp and your hair. So because you need to nourish. So after you clean properly, then you will become dry. Your scalp will become dry, right?
Yes.
And your hair also become dry. So you need to nourish it with a good conditioner. That's why you need to also condition twice a day.
I noticed like especially nowadays, right? A lot of young ladies. I don't treat men, so I have young ladies. They have very dry scalp, so they don't have dandruff. Like it's some sort of a dandruff, but it's actually dead skin. So coming out from the scalp, so it's like macam snow, all over their scalp. So like once they wash it, you don't see it. And then once I like start to massage their scalp, you can see all the little white things start coming out. So like what is the cause of that, and like how do they help themselves to stop it from happening?
Yeah, so like I mentioned just now, actually our weather, our climate contributes to that. Then of course, if you like maybe you use a headgear, you wear a cap, a hat, or sometimes you wear the hijab is too tight or too long, or maybe the material of the hijab can be trapping a lot of heat and moisture. That may also contribute to trapping all this. And maybe like you said, like most people may not wash their hair every day because they don't know, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a build up. So what you share was actually what I was talking about, because they don't know that you need to clean their hair properly with the right shampoo.
Okay. I wash my hair almost every day is because I exercise regularly. So when you exercise regularly, right? So I just tend to like wash almost every day. So that's the reason. Okay, so you touched on the women who are pregnant, right? And women who are wearing the hijab. So like for women who are wearing the hijab, I know that some of them, they like to tie until very tight, or they tie their hair until very tightly, right? So then it pulls the hair. Then of course, once you release the hair, you can see like a lot of hair will fall. So that's one, right? Number two, and also I find that when they wear hijab, somebody ever told me, oh, I learned this from a stylist. Like, oh, I wash my hair, leave it half damp, and then I wear the hijab. I said, then you will accumulate bacteria, right, on the head. Then I said, it's gonna be so smelly and stinky. Then, oh no, it will cool down the scalp. I said, no such thing. So it's a myth, right? So then coming to the
Interesting.
yeah, so I share with you. So women have funny, stuff that they do themselves. So then the pregnant women, so especially for first time pregnancy, right? They are so fearful of hair fall, and then once their hair start to drop, especially during breastfeeding, right? What can they do? So these two main things that I want to know.
Okay, sorry. The second one is pregnancy. Then the first one was ladies wear the hijab, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Actually, it's actually a myth that wearing the hijab will contribute to hair loss. But if you, like you mentioned if you tie your hair too tightly. So there's this thing called traction alopecia, where because, traction, as the name suggests, is pulling, right? So you
Yes.
keep pulling and pulling your hair so tightly until it sort of like just breaks lah. So you get contributes to hair loss because of the tight pulling of the hair. So when you
Okay.
tie out your hair beneath your hijab, if you tie too tightly, then that may contribute to traction alopecia. Then the tudung itself, like you mentioned, if it's too tight, that may actually also cause traction. And then if you go and wear the hijab with the wet and damp hair, that may also contribute to a buildup of, moisture and all these unnecessary things that you don't want to accumulate there. And rightfully so when you mentioned, because maybe most ladies, when you go to work, you wear the hijab, and by the time you take it off, it's already like the whole day, right? So
Yes.
you are supposed to lose hair throughout the day. But then when you just remove everything at the end of the day, you feel like, oh my God, so much hair loss. But
Oh,
actually
it's a
it's
one-time drop
accumulated.
lah. Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
macam like, it's so shocking, but actually it's a whole day accumulation.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so you must address this myth that actually it's not the tudung fault, right? It's just that you
Ah,
must know how to, avoid all
yes.
these unnecessary things.
Uh,
But of course, so the advice will be like just now we mentioned that try and make sure you dry your hair first before you
uh,
put on the tudung.
mhm,
Okay, avoid tying it too tight and tying your hair too tight, and
mhm,
then maybe use breathable hijab material that is not too hot.
mhm.
Um, what else? And make sure you wash your hair twice a day and have a good conditioner.
Or at least once a day, right?
Yes, at least once a day. And
So
I
I
think at the
like,
same time, same advice. Basically, you still need to have like all the nutrition as well, the supplements.
hmm.
Yeah, sorry, you wanted to say about your
Yeah,
experience?
like for me, I use the hair dryer. So I like to wash my hair at night because like it's end of the day. Because in the morning it's like too rushing already. So then I hair
Mm.
dry my hair. So I have this little contraption where I dry my hair before I go to bed. So I know of women who do not dry their hair before they go to bed. So they orang tidur with wet hair, putting the towel thinking that okay it will absorb, but actually I know that it's not good, and you just collect bacteria, breed bacteria in your scalp.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, you're right. Because it's like as if you imagine you shower, but you
Mm-hmm.
don't dry, and then you go and sleep. How you feel, right? Your skin will be very uncomfortable. So your scalp will also feel the same way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So please dry your hair. And in terms of drying, also try not to use too much heat, or
Mm-hmm.
or if you use some heat, right, try not to be too long, because that heat
Um,
may also damage hair.
okay,
Mm,
okay. Okay, so now
mm.
coming to the pregnant women.
Yes. Okay. So what happened is, especially after pregnancy, like it's not really the breastfeeding lah that affects it, but it's more like after pregnancy, your estrogen just goes down. So there's this
Ah,
response where your body actually start to lose your head start to lose hair. This
mm-mm-mm.
response to the changes in your estrogen levels, and
Yes.
it's temporary. But of course, I
Mm-hmm.
know women will be very affected by it. So so I would say it's more like a process. So you just have
Uh-huh.
to be prepared for it.
Yes.
And at the same time, the advice is still the same. Basically, make sure you take your supplements for hair. And oh yeah, you also need to take protein. I forgot to mention. Protein is the building block of the
Mm-hmm.
hair for hair itself. Because hair is made
Oh,
of keratin. Keratin is
okay.
protein.
Uh-huh.
So, especially when you're recovering after delivery, you also want to have protein for your body to recover as well.
Mm,
So,
mm-mm,
protein is an important component of hair growth. That's why
mm-mm.
when you have certain girls who have eating disorders, right, they lose hair because they are not eating enough.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So protein is lacking. So that's
Mm-mm.
another big part of how to prevent. Mm.
So I need to up my protein, I think.
Yeah, no, we Asians, we don't really eat a lot of protein. We eat a lot of carbs, right? Rice and noodles. So protein, we tend to like just have a bit. so we can try to increase the protein.
Yeah. Correct. Okay. So now, last but not the least, basic pointers of how women, by and large, right, can take care of their hair. Like, what do they do every day
Mm,
that can improve
mm,
the
mm,
hair?
mm. Yeah, that's a good point. But basically, we covered most of it already. So make
Yes,
sure
yes.
you wash your hair, wash your hair once or twice a day. Do
Mm-hmm.
not keep it wet. Make sure you
Mm-hmm.
dry it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Make sure you also shampoo, conditioner, and if you have issue about loss or more hair loss, add on a serum. Okay, make sure you take a good multivitamin that
Mm-hmm.
consists of the vitamin C, vitamin D, biotin, and vitamin B as well. Sorry, vitamin B as well. And make sure your diet also consists of protein, so that
Ah.
you give the right nutrients. And of course, good lifestyle habits, manage your stress, avoid smoking, and avoid trying styling your hair with too much traction, pulling too tightly,
Mm-mm.
too much heat, too much treatment. So basically, all these like in a combination. I hope that
Mm.
that is make it a bit clearer for all of us.
So basically, like what you do with your face and your body, or it's the same thing you do with your hair, lah, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
So
Yeah.
the thing about people don't know is hair is actually a dead cell, right? So it's an
Mm,
extension of the dead cell. So basically, when you nourish your scalp, then you have better quality of dead cell, right? So when
yeah.
hair is like alive, but actually it's not.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Okay, so at the beginning of the conversation, we were talking about the galvanic thing, right? So maybe this is the
Mm,
last thing that I want to know. So how does
mm.
the DIY at home galvanic treatment will help to improve the hair?
Okay. So it must be used in combination. The product that I have that is used with the galvanic spa,
Mm-hmm.
the galvanic treatment is actually neutral. So the
Mm-hmm.
neutral serum is designed to work with the galvanic home spa device.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the serum itself is effective in promoting thicker and fuller hair. So I actually met up with the scientists who designed
Mm-hmm.
this product, the neutral,
Mm-hmm.
and then so I asked him what's the difference between if
Mm-hmm.
I just apply the serum
Mm-hmm.
versus I apply the serum using the galvanic device, right?
Ah. Mm-hmm.
And so they gave me this analogy. Basically, it's like the serum is like a nail that you're trying to uh, hammer into the wall, right? So
Yes.
if you just apply serum and use your hand to massage, it's just like using your hands to put the nail into the wall. But the
Ah. Okay.
galvanic device is like a hammer.
So it
So
pushed
it
the
actually goes,
serum.
uh, correct. So it goes deep into the scalp to really nourish the scalp and promote that healthy, thicker, fuller hair.
How has it been like you've tried it for a while, right? How long have you tried it
Mm.
and what are the results?
It was, I think the product I started using since November last year. And
Oh, okay.
Alhamdulillah, in fact, if you see my old photos, one of the things I noticed is always very flat. Like my hair used to be flat and of course more hair loss. Previously
Uh-huh.
was even more receding than this. In fact, now it's already less receding. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I could see thicker here, especially because for me it's more of the front part, right? So it's definitely thicker and more volume. Yeah,
Mm.
it's more volume, so easier to style and
Yeah.
less hair fall. I don't really see as much hair fall as last time. Yeah.
It's time for me to see you and try this,
Yeah, maybe you should
Yeah.
because I also got a lot of female clients because for women they had more on the line apa tu parting. They tend to
The
have
part.
balding and the parting. Yeah. So that's the
Ah.
female pattern. So those my female clients who use the neutral, they really love it so much, because they really see the first of all the hair looking healthier and
Uh-huh.
thicker, and the
Mm.
line actually not as thin as before. So it's actually start to thicken up.
Ah.
And I just had one new customer. He just tried 1 or 2 times, and even he already said that the hair looks a little bit darker. Sebab I think because of
Thicker strand, right?
better quality. Yeah, thicker strand
Thicker
and just the
strand.
hair is just better quality. Hmm.
Okay. Interesting we have this conversation because I learned this in school, right? In when I was taking my diploma, and then like it doesn't really make sense until you really talk to talk to someone who actually have clients who experience all these things, right? All right.
Hmm.
Thank you, Taufik, for this little conversation.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you so much, and Selamat Hari Raya Aidiladha.
Selamat Raya.
Yes, I'll see you soon. Maybe we go for dinner with Liz or something.
Yes, that's a good idea. I haven't celebrated her birthday, right?
Oh, we owe her a present, present.
Yes, yes, yes. Correct, correct.
Okay, have a good
Okay, thanks for
evening.
having
I'll
me.
see you.
Good evening.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.